Hey guys, PFM here, coming at you hot today with a new video. And today I just want to jump straight into it. I want to go over this mini set that I particularly like. I think it's one of the best mini sets in the whole TCG. And it's the Pikachu World Collection mini set. And as you can see, every card in it is a Pikachu. You get 9. I got this folder from Japan. Here's the back. And the one neat thing about it is every Pikachu represents a different country, shown by the flags. So we got United States, Italy, South Korea, Spain, Japan, Germany, France, Poland, and Portugal. And as you can see, all the cards have actually the same text, but translated into the respective language. So the first attack is hello, or ciao, or whatever that says. And the second attack is Thunderbolt, and they all do the same damage, etc. And so there's many reasons why I like this set in particular. Let's pull it out. Here's what the cards actually look like in the plastic that comes with the folder. I'll take out one. This is the US Pikachu. Let me zoom in for a second. All right. And so I like the hollow on the border, first of all. It's just a nice touch. Each card has this PW for Pikachu World. And one neat thing about all the artworks is actually the flag, the respective flag of the card, is more or less hidden in every single one. And so this one is the US, right? And if you look right here, you can see kind of like the stars and stripes just kind of subtly put in the background, which I think is really great. So another neat thing about this set is that every one of the illustrators that are represented here are some of like the biggest names in Pokemon illustration. So I just kind of want to go through it all. We'll do one card at a time and just break it down for you. So the first one, again, it's the US. I've shown you the flag. And the illustrator is Saito right there. And he's that one guy that you may know did a signing, how long ago was it? A couple months back now, in Dallas, Texas. And so I actually managed to get this card signed. Right? So here's his signature. And he even pointed out the flag, so that's confirmed true canon. And I want to go through some of his older cards. So he kind of like started in the East series. And his cards often have like, I find the Pokemon he draws are very close to the actual look of the Pokemon. He doesn't really deviate very much. And they're also typically in like kind of dynamic action poses. So another example of a more modern card would be this Raichu, Alolan Raichu, surfing that electric wave. And he's also done, you know, stuff like this. So that's more or less his art style. And that's him representing the US. Doesn't look that bad. Okay. Next up, from Italy, we have Fat Pikachu being repped by Arita. Let me pull it out. So everyone knows Arita. I think if you've been in the hobby longer than 3 days, you'll know who he is. He's the guy who did the base set Charizard. So he's been around since the beginning. I have a couple of his other cards here, so you may know the Gyarados, drawn by him. And I have these two right here, Latios Latios. And his style is typically very detailed. The shading is very detailed. I mean, like, I don't really want to spend too much time on him because everyone knows his artwork already. And Italy, just to remind you what the flag looks like, you got that green, white, and red. And if you look at the card, in the background, you got green, white, and red. Such a nice touch. All right, let's put this back here. Okay, next up, we have South Korea. This one is illustrated by Fukuda, who is best known for doing the Gold Star cards from the EX era. This one's a little bit harder to see because the artwork is dark. But it's a Pikachu jumping around in some like Korean alleyway, I guess. To have some other examples of his artwork. If I had a Gold Star here, I would show you, but I don't at the moment. So here are just 3 other examples. His are also very dynamic. The Pokemon are in like kind of angled poses and like moving, and there's lots of action happening in the background. Not so much that one, but another kind of angled, angry looking pose. And you can really see it on the Gold Stars too if you take a look at them. And so the flag in this one, South Korea, the flag looks like this. You have the red and the blue, and then I believe those are supposed to be representing some like 4 elements or something. And if you look carefully at the card, you can see these dangling things in the background are red and blue, which correspond to the flag, and also the tiles of the roof kind of look like the 4 black tiles on here. Let's put this back here. All right, next up we have Spain, right here, done by Jimeno. And Jimeno is also another artist that's been around basically since the beginning. Let's take a look at the artwork first. Sitting on the grass next to a river, sunset. And so here I have some examples of Jimeno's work. You probably recognize a lot of these if you grew up with them. Lots of jungle and fossil cards. She had this kind of really soft watercolor thing going on when she first started illustrating. And she does illustrate today, still to today, but her illustration tends to not really have that watercolor look anymore. It has kind of like usually an angled shot, and there's not really an outline on the Pokemon, and the background is very detailed normally. Lots of like plant motifs. Like this one has all those like individual blades of grass, right? And the Spanish flag looks like this. And this is probably one of the, I don't know, most abstract ones. You can see like the red and orange sky, which I think is supposed to represent the flag. And I was trying to find if there was anything else subtle that I was missing. Holy, hold that straight. And in the Spanish flag, there's this coat of arms. And in the coat of arms, there's some pillars against water. And, you know, maybe you can argue that right there, those pillars on the, I don't know. I think that one's a reach. Probably the worst ones representing the flag, but still a nice card nonetheless. Next up, if you probably noticed, there's one missing. I actually have it here. So this one is actually illustrated by, you can't even see it, but Ken Sugimori. I have this one signed by Imakuni, which I got done at Worlds this year, because I don't know if I'll ever see or be able to get Sugimori to sign one of these cards. So I don't know. I had it at the time, and I thought it would be kind of a neat thing. And to go back a little bit, I have this one too. So I think one of my goals is to eventually get all of them signed potentially by their respective artists, but it's going to be very challenging for some of them. And I know actually 2 other people on Instagram independently came up with the same idea, so maybe I'm onto something. And Ken Sugimori here is representing Japan. He's kind of like the biggest name in illustration, so it makes sense that he reps his own home country. But the thing about Ken Sugimori is that like most of his artwork actually kind of, it's not really artwork. You have something like this, where it's literally just kind of like the stock image he draws for every Pokemon, and it's just superimposed on the background. Usually pretty boring, and this is the case here too. You know, it's probably not even done by him. He drew the Pikachu, but some intern at probably Pokemon decided to put this background on, and they just gave him the credit. But he definitely does have some really nice artwork when he actually does do real artwork, like the Red's Pikachu, for instance, was done by him. Or like a lot of the older pack arts, like that right there, that's what I want to see on a card. You know, like original Ken Sugimori artwork. Right? And again, he went all the way back to the beginning. We have the Chansey and still just kind of a stock photo superimposed on a background. So for the most part, I'm not really like a huge fan of his illustrated cards, but when he actually does go out and do some original piece, I think it can be really fantastic. Next up, we have, which country? Germany. There's the card. So this one is also done by Saito, but it's not the same Saito. This is Saito with a U. And this is Saito with no U. And so this guy, what he's probably best known for is he tends to do like the newer World's Championship Series cards, so Championship Festival. So here are 3 of his more recent ones. Very colorful. Lots of stuff happening in his cards. Lots of detail. And like I said, this card is Germany. So when we look at it carefully, we can see German flag is red, or sorry, black, red, and yellow. We can see black, red, and yellow in the kind of like the landscape there. Kind of neat. Very subtle too. Hello. Donner Blitz. Ran out of space back there, but we got 3 more to go. Next up, we have France. Bonjour, represented by Nishida. And I'm glad they chose Nishida for at least one card in the set, because she's actually the one that designed Pikachu. And I think this is actually one of my favorite Pikachu cards, because like you have the creator who illustrated it, and just the detail on it, it's super nice, and it's super Nishida-esque. So Nishida's basically, let's see if I can pull up some cards here. Where are they? Aha. She's very known for like her kind of very soft watercolors. She actually designed Charmander too, so another neat card. And she's been around since the beginning too. Here's a Pichu by her. Very soft watercolor look. Here are 2 more. Charizard and Venusaur. So yeah, it's very, you know, a few shades used. The background's usually pretty simple. Sometimes the Pokemon can look a little distorted, but I think she did a really, really good job on this Pikachu in particular. And if we go back to the flag, right there, you can see France is blue, white, and red. And on the card, in the background, we got blue, white, and red flowers right there. And actually right here too. Maybe out of order, but it's there. So this is one card I definitely would like to get signed if she ever comes around. Just gonna adjust over here so we have room. Trying to do this in one take because I gotta go after this. So if it's too slow, just press that 2x button and fast forward. Should have told you that at the beginning, but it is what it is. Okay, next up we got this Pikachu right here, done by Io. And she's probably one of the least known artists represented here, but she still has a lot of newer stuff, and I really like her style. It tends to be, you have these really, it kind of looks like it's done by a crayon. You have these really thick outlines, and they're not like fully solid lines. They tend to be, again, like a crayon. And there's not usually much detail, but she kind of emphasizes a lot of things in the image. So here's another, and here's a Lopunny, which, again, kind of looks like it's drawn by a crayon. Here's another one. And her style, I think, is probably one of the more consistent ones throughout all of her cards. You can easily, I pick up a card, I can easily tell when it's hers. Here's one that's a little bit more detailed. Cosplay Pikachus. Yeah, so here she is representing Poland. I'm not even going to try to pronounce those attacks. See characters I don't even know. Like, how do you pronounce that E with a little accent on the bottom? I have no idea. So there's the Polish flag, and here's probably the easiest one to see. It's just red and white, and I don't even need to say anymore. No. Okay. All right, last but not least, we have Portugal right there. And here's the Portuguese Pikachu. Hola! This one is done by Harada. And Harada, again, it's also been around for a really long time. Probably best known for some of the stuff that she did during the E-series era. So, like, right here are a couple of other examples. Have Aerodactyl, Kabutops, and Eevee. And her cards tend to have, like, a lot of black in them. A lot of black outline and a lot of architecture or details in the buildings. That's very reminiscent of her style. Oops. Here's some two other ones. We have, conveniently I grabbed all Japanese promos. But here we have McDonald's promo, Sneasel. You can see like the detail in the trees. Most of the detail is just in black. And here we have the Festive Pikachu done by her. Looking at that little flower there. Okay, just to wrap it up, we're going to take a look at the flag. And this one's actually really creative. So there's the Portuguese flag. It's red and green with a little red crest inside. And let's see if I can capture this right here in the background. And you can see the architecture, like typical of her style here too. Right here in the background, you have some shirts that are hanging on a clothesline, and we have the red and the green. It's pretty snazzy. Yeah, she's one of my favorite artists too. Great card. Okay, let's put this back here. And there we go. Pikachu World Collection set. One of the nice things about this set is it's super, super affordable. Ooh, wrong way. Like this one, I think I paid $39 for. You could probably find it for like $50. One other thing I should mention is that on this card, there's another version of the Sugimori card that was only released in Pokemon Centers and 7-Eleven, where instead of a blue background, it has a green one. And I believe the green one's rare. So if you have the option between two of them, go for the green one. But it's the same card otherwise. Just the recolored standard Sugimori stuff, right? All right. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you found that interesting. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully if you like it enough, you'll buy this set. Stay cool, boys and girls.